Welcome back. We're chatting with elder attorney and author of Medicaid in Indiana, Mr. Gary Price. Gary, what's the number one misconception that's out there about Medicaid planning?
Well, there are a number of them. In the book, I list the top 10. But the number one probably would be the idea that, or the notion that you have to spend all your money before you qualify for Medicaid, meaning you have to pay the nursing home month after month after month before you qualify. And you know, that doesn't take long for when the nursing home costs, you know, on the low end $6,500 a month, on the high end $9,000 plus a month, depending on the skilled care. So that notion is often referred to as spin down into poverty. And the response to that is, if you don't do any planning, unfortunately, it's not a misconception. It's true. You will spin down into poverty fairly quickly. But the reality of it is, if you do plan, it doesn't have to be that way. There are, in Medicaid, during the process, there are restrictions relating to your income, restrictions relating to how many resources, the amount of resources you own. But there are also strategies, which are tools which relate to transactions and transfers that you can do in order to preserve assets. And those strategies are approved by the state and approved by Congress. And so those strategies are out there in order to prevent a community spouse, for example. If you have one spouse in the nursing home, that's the institutionalized spouse. If you have one spouse at home still, that's the community spouse. To prevent the community spouse from being destitute, from preventing the family from being destitute. There are laws out there to prevent that, and that's what the strategy is all about. So the idea, the notion that you have to spin down to poverty in order to qualify is incorrect. It doesn't have to be that way.
And we want folks to get this book and to do some planning so they avoid that. How can folks purchase your book, and what offer do you have for our viewers today for Medicaid in Indiana?
You can go to Amazon and you can purchase the book. However, if you call my office today and you say you saw me here, I will send you, I'll be happy to send you a free copy of the book. And also, now the book, as we've discussed, is going to answer a lot of those questions generally. But I'd love to meet with whomever calls and have a free consultation as well, and we could talk about their situation as well.
Wonderful opportunity to get some expert advice. Give us the phone number where folks can reach you, Gary, before we wrap up.
Sure. That number is 812-479-8721.
Okay, great. I'm sure they can find you online as well and in the phone book. So
I'm there.
Thanks so much for being here today. Great information.
Thank you.
Coming up next, do you have any questions on finances? Our